This video is going to be part 2 of Cashman, and if you missed the first one, I do recommend checking out that video because it explains a lot, and also it's a really cool video because there's something of a specific attack was originally for this character and not for Vegeta. So if you haven't seen that video, I recommend checking it out. And also a shout out to Shan0S for literally saying in the comments about the OVA. Didn't even know it had one, so I checked it out the other night, and man, is it ever good. So thank you for telling me there is an OVA for that show. That's really awesome. But anyways, today we're going to talk about the last 2 chapters for this story because, one, the 2 chapters are short, so I figured let's put it together because half of the stories is kind of just a review of literally the first chapter, so I'm not going to talk about it in this, of course, and we're not going to count that part of the chapters. But anyways, the whole point of these 2 chapters is it's a very interesting story, and man, I'm kind of glad that I am doing 2 chapters for this because the way the first chapter is a little mild, a little soft, a little story. And then the 3rd chapter to this story, the finale, really goes hardball. So I really want to explain what the story is all about, and let's just get into it. Diora is in the form of Chatpat, and pretty much he is just minding his own business, you know, because work is boring and there's really nothing happening at the moment. So sure enough, this girlfriend of his just bothers him and probably is trying to get him to go on a date, which gets him angry because she's calling him not really a man. Takes this girl on a date, even though it is like the worst way to take her on a date, which I think is hilarious, and I love it for this purpose because he's an alien and he doesn't know anything about like what real dating is besides what this guy's memories about. But even though they had a really bad date and the girl is probably at the point of just leaving him at this point, they meet up with a gang called the Devil Kids. Now, they're supposed to be like little children, but one of them doesn't look like a child. I just want to point that out. I thought maybe this was a gang that they just say they're from elementary school and they're the toughest kids around. But apparently that is literally legit. I just literally thought maybe they were just saying that as like a little joke or like a little thing to say, like, you know, I'm the child that runs this town, or I'm the man that takes over the place. Like, you can't handle me. So that's what I thought it was like trying to say the whole time, but apparently that is legit. They go to elementary school, which I didn't even know that. Then anyways, of course, Cashman takes out the first guy, and sure enough, the one that looks a little bit like Gohan, I want to say, he kind of says he's this strong man, and he's really more tougher once he takes out his assistant or his buddy or whoever this guy is. Anyways, tries to show off the Cashman, and then Cashman just kind of proves it to him that, you know, that he might be the strongest kid, but he is the strongest adult on Earth, which literally scares his child, and pretty much at this point you could say he ran away. But then we get to chapter 3, which is a year since that last event, and it's been boring and there's no work to do, and Diora is trying to find ways to make money while trying to be a superhero to make money on the side, because being a cop isn't going to give him the money, because he even says that he needs a lot of money. He's like millions of dollars, and he's not even close to that. But anyways, his chief calls him up and literally tells him that he needs to be cautious because there's this thief on the loose who probably took billions of dollars at this point, and he's pretty much like a very destructible guy, and he's somebody that you don't want to mess with. So because he mentioned the part with the $1 billion, Diora thought, why don't I go there, take some of the money, and then I can get gold out of it, get it to my ship, and I can finally go home. So he decided to go after this guy the whole time, and sure enough, took out the bad guy after hunting him down. Fortunately, the money is still safe, and this man is still kicking pretty much. He's in a metal suit, which he is called Kazuro Yurikuma, which I thought would be more, you know, bad name, I guess, or something, but he's just like, this is my name, okay? I'm the bad guy, I'm the worst guy you'll ever meet in your life, and I'm not gonna lie, he actually really puts up a fight. He actually damages Diora and pretty much puts a dent in his back. Like, I was really shocked how this guy actually managed to even do some of that, because the aliens did literally nothing to Cashman. Even though he did damage to Diora, I do want to point out, he does also say in the story that he just literally caught him off guard. He thought that, you know, the way he was, that he wouldn't be that tough after all, but he let his guard down, and fortunately that's what happened. After he defeats the bad guy, pretty much he rushes him, I guess kind of slowly, not really rushing, but he drags him to the police station deciding if he should just take the money and run or just do what he's doing and just don't take the money. So the funny part about this at the end is that he forgot to change back into his form, and sure enough, the police department, even the chief, literally gave him 10% of the money, which was enough to literally send him home. Like, he was really shocked that they gave him the money. So, at the end of the day, he finally gets to go back to his planet, and the guy, which I thought he died, apparently is still alive. I didn't know that. Apparently, he was still kicking after he took off. So, I don't know exactly what happened there, or either that, or that was just the last clip of him as Chatpat before he took off. I'm not entirely sure. Just the way the story ended, I thought that was a little odd. Anyways, that is pretty much the sum of the story. It is great. It is really awesome. The action scenes in this is actually really good. Like, I was really surprised. Like I said, chapter 2 was more of like a corny little small story that was more like a filler. It was more like he just did something while like on his day off and just stumbled across these kids. But like I said, it was still a little fun comedic story. Wasn't really that bad. But the third chapter of this was the real deal, and I think this is great. So even though I gave the last one an 8 out of 10, I do have to give 2 and 3 a 9 out of 10. Yes, the reason I am giving it a 9 out of 10 instead of an 8.5 is because of the last part that ends, because he really is trying to fight this guy, and I was really shocked to see how he was going to do it, and I was really surprised that this even thief guy even could keep up with Cashman. So that was really intriguing and fascinating to even see that. So, but anyways, if you guys want to check out the story, I do recommend it. And also the OVA. Watch the OVA. Unfortunately, there's no subtitles unless it's the one I watched that didn't have one. But the OVA is actually not that bad. So if you're okay with just no subtitles, because I don't think there is. If you find one, that's great. But like I said, the one I found, unfortunately, did not have subtitles. So I kind of just went with it, unfortunately, and just kind of knew what the plot was going on, but not fully know exactly from detail to detail. But anyways, guys, hope you guys are watching the live for more. Subscribe to me, of course, and I will see you, of course, in the next video. So we are going to be down to 2 more stories out of this book. We are getting really close to the end of it, and yeah, I don't know what's going to happen next after we finish the manga review for this, but all I have to say is that so far, stories actually have been pretty good. I know the beginning of it, I was a little concerned of what we were getting into, because some of the stories were kind of a little short and just maybe not as great as I would like to read at the start. But it is Akira Toriyama's work from over the years, so it's more of a progress work. It's not really his best of the best work, I guess you could say. But it is still great, still awesome, and yeah, he's made amazing stories so far, and I can't wait to read the rest. So, anyways, guys, if you enjoyed these stories, hit a like, subscribe, of course, and I'll see you, of course, in the next videos. And if you want to leave a comment, maybe I'll give you a shout out in the next videos. Anyways, guys, take care. Have a great day.